Hey, I'm going to make you a quick video on 6.3, which really what we're looking at in 6.3 is we're using confidence intervals and we're doing proportions. Honestly, from the first two lessons that you've looked at, we use this more. You'll see this more in the news. You'll see this more in when you're looking at journal articles. Why? Because it's really easy to look at proportions because a lot of times you'll have a whole group of people or things, and you can see part of the group did this, part of the group did not do this. So this is why this is pretty powerful. So let's do this one. Let's look at this thing. A random sample of 5,220 permanent dwellings are on an entire reservation, showing that 1,634 were the traditional Hugrens. So this is what I want to do. Okay. So for me to get the proportion, remember it's your the smaller group over the larger group. Okay. So that's how you're going to get that. And then you want to find the confidence interval. You want to find the lower and the upper limit. It's really easy to do. I'm going to do it in SALT because it makes it so much easier. I'm going to click on it. And it may not bring me to exactly what I need, but I can find it pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I know it's a proportion. And remember, I know the number of successes is the lower number. And remember, my lower number was 1,634. And my number of trials, and this is always going to be bigger, was going to be, remember, I go back, sorry, 5,220. So there's my larger trials. Okay. I'm going to click here. I don't worry about hypothesis test. That's coming later. I'm going to do confidence intervals. And then this is where I can adjust it and do 99 and I hit generate results. So this is kind of the cool thing. I didn't even need to do what I did here to get this because SALT gives me everything. So let's look. N is my sample size. 1634 is my number of successes, which means that's what I'm looking at as success. You got to be careful of that because sometimes we determine success differently. This is the proportion I was looking for. It's 0.313027, my standard error, which we won't talk about in this class, but we do report it when we're doing statistical analysis. My lower limit. Okay, so that means the lower part of the confidence interval is 0.296494, and the upper limit is 0.329559. So what does this mean? So remember, a confidence interval gives me the confidence to say that I believe this is the range for what's going on. And remember, we determined that it was roughly like 31% of them were traditional housing. So this gives me a range that I can say anywhere from 29.6% to 32.9% would be traditional housing on this reservation. That's how you get that. Hope that helped.